Vegan, extra lifespan.
Our programs offer many languages. Please visit suprememastertv.com/schedule.
Nos programmes offrent plusieurs langues. Veuillez visiter suprememastertv.com/schedule.
Nuestros programas ofrecen varios idiomas. Visiten suprememastertv.com/schedule.
برامجنا متوفرة بالعديد من اللغات. يرجى زيارة suprememastertv.com/schedule.
Gardens, bringing beauty and comfort to our lives, part 1 of 3. Continue watching to find out more.
Siani, that's one of many ways you might be greeted if you are fortunate enough to spend time exploring the beautiful Republic of Albania. It means, "How are you?" in Albanian. I'm Elvina. The friendly Albanian people wish for you to enjoy good health and uplifting surroundings. Welcome to the first of our 3-part show, Gardens Bringing Beauty and Comfort to Our Lives. In today's show, we will look at the early history of gardening and introduce you to some of England's finest gardens. Then, we'll see how gardening can also be incorporated into the lives of city dwellers. In part 2 and 3 of this show, we will examine traditional and modern gardens on the European continent. A garden is a planned space for the display, cultivation, and enjoyment of plants and other forms of nature. Gardens can incorporate both natural features and ones created by humans, but are defined by how the space is controlled or managed. This can be to produce food, for enjoyment, or a combination of both. If a landscape is not directly managed, it may become a forest, grassland, or other natural ecosystem. Gardens differ from farms by being smaller, with more focus on the pleasures of growing food than efficiency. Gardens around the world commonly include water features, such as ponds, lakes, streams, and fountains. Humanity has cultivated gardens since ancient times. In Genesis, the first book of the Holy Bible, God created Adam and Eve, the first humans, and allowed them to dwell in a paradise land called the Garden of Eden. God instructed them to take care of the garden and nourish themselves with the fruits and seeds from its plants. The legendary Hanging Gardens of Babylon, one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world, were described by writers of the day as a series of tiered gardens, containing a wide variety of trees, shrubs, and vines, resembling a large green mountain constructed of mud bricks. According to legend, the Hanging Gardens were built alongside a great palace by King Nebuchadnezzar II for his wife, Queen Amitiz, who was from Media, or present-day Iran, and missed the green hills and valleys of her homeland. We will look more at this famous garden in part 2 of this series. Gardening was first recognized as an art form in Europe in the 16th century, when it became a symbol of the ideal republic, evoking images of the Garden of Eden. The English gardener and writer John Evelyn wrote in the 17th century that,
"There is not a more laborious life than is that of a good gardener's, but a labour full of tranquility and satisfaction, natural and instructive, and such as, if any, contributes to piety and contemplation.
Supreme Master Ching Hai, a keen gardener herself, has praised the joy of gardening on many occasions, saying this in a gathering with our association members in France.
In your house, if you have land, even small garden, you cultivate something for yourself also, so that you don't always have to rely on the supermarket. Yeah, and in case something happens, you always have something to eat. Very simple to grow food. The food that can sustain you doesn't have to be expensive and difficult. When I was in Germany, I was married, yeah? We had a little garden. And my husband and myself, we planted tomatoes. Oh, it grew so many tomatoes. And some flowers for my Buddha altar. Oh, they grow and grow and grow. So many flowers, so many tomatoes. And I also grew like peppermints, and some salad, and some coriander. It's not much, of course, but it's so nice to eat your own food. It feels so nice.
Kind-hearted viewers, let's pause for a moment to hear a brief message. We'll return shortly. Please stay tuned to Supreme Master Television. Vegan, 'cause we want to be healthy and strong. Welcome back to the first episode of our show on Gardens of the World. Let's continue by exploring the historic gardens of England. The English landscape garden, which is sometimes just called the English Garden, emerged in the early 18th century. It was pioneered by William Kent and later spread across the European continent. It presents an idealized view of a natural or man-made landscape. Gently rolling lawns, lakes, and ponds are often set against a background of trees. Picturesque architecture, such as classical temples, bridges, cascades, and grottos that would often enhance the landscape and create the idyllic feel of a traditional English home in the countryside. The renowned landscape architect Lancelot Brown, who is often credited as England's greatest gardener, designed over 170 parks, many of which survive to this day. One such famous garden is at Hampton Court Palace near London, which was once home to His Majesty King Henry VIII. Visitors to London often explore the 60 acres of traditional gardens and can enjoy grapes from the world's largest grapevine, which was planted in 1769 and continues to produce fruit to this day. In 1757, Sir William Chambers, a writer and traveler based in London, made 3 trips to China and published the book Designs of Chinese Buildings, Furniture, Dresses, Machines, and Utensils, which had a chapter on gardens. Sir Chambers designed Europe's first Chinese garden at the Kew Gardens, which was formally founded in 1759 and adopted as a national botanical garden in 1840. Kew Garden is now a top London tourist attraction and London's largest World Heritage Site. The garden is also home to the world's largest collection of living plants, as well as the traditional English gardens, its herbarium, which is one of the largest in the world. It also houses a rainforest and gardens from 10 different climatic zones from around the Earth. It has over 8.5 million preserved plant and fungal species, and its library contains over 175,000 volumes. Kew Gardens is planning to study the benefits of biodiversity in the UK at its Wild Botanic Garden in Wakehurst. During the COVID-19 pandemic, visitor numbers to all attractions in the United Kingdom have fallen much less than previous years, with outdoor attractions favored over those of indoor. In fact, in 2020, Kew Gardens became one of the UK's most visited tourist attractions for the first time. Many traditional English landscape gardens feature a lake and a footbridge in order to walk across and enjoy the view. The Sackler Crossing Bridge, made of granite and bronze, was added to the Royal Botanical Gardens, Kew, in 2006. Another way for visitors to appreciate the Kew Gardens is from the Canopy Walkway, which is 200 meters long and 18 meters high, offering a view of the canopy of a woodland glade. The bridge is designed to safely rust, so its brown appearance helps it to blend into its wooded surroundings. Another famous historic botanic garden in the United Kingdom is the Cambridge University Botanic Garden. It was established between 1760 and 1763 and was moved to its current site with the establishment of new gardens in 1846. The gardens currently hold a collection of over 8,000 species of plants from around the world and are used for research by the prestigious university. Scientists at the newly built Sainsbury Laboratory at Cambridge University researched the self-organizing properties of plants, including their growth and development. In February 2020, thousands of people watched the garden's moonflower cactus, or known scientifically as Solanaceras whittii, bloom in what was possibly the first time in the United Kingdom. The cactus, which naturally grows high above the Amazonian rainforest, usually blooms at night for only an estimated 12 hours. During the COVID-19 pandemic, many of England's beautiful parks have been closed, and many employees have been working from home in lieu of their regular workplaces. For people with small or busy homes, it can be difficult to find a quiet place to work. And what better place than the back garden, with plants and other co-inhabitants to provide peace, harmony, and fresh air? London-based architectural firm Buono Prismontas has produced a standalone structure called My Room in the Garden, which is like a modern version of a garden shed, but is intended for work or relaxation instead of storage, which most garden sheds have traditionally been used for. The 2.5-meter-high room is made in London from birch plywood, and Buono Prismontas is now already receiving inquiries from around the world. Serene viewers, thank you for your company today during Gardens Bringing Beauty and Comfort to Our Lives, Part 1 of 3. Please return next Friday, September 10th for Part 2. May our irreplaceable cultural treasures be forever preserved in the care and shelter of heaven. Vegan. Carry love around, not dead carcasses.
Our programs offer many languages. Please visit suprememastertv.com/schedule and suprememastertv.com/AJAR.